he also comes with a pretty badass theme song that sounds tailor-made for Super Smash Brothers. Come on, Nintendo, make it happen. At least put the song in here. I'd prefer you to just put Magnus in too, but you know, bonus treats. Hey everybody, and welcome back to Let's Play Kid Icarus Uprising for the Nintendo 3DS. Last time we did Chapter 1, The Return of Palutena. This time it's time for Chapter 2, Magnus and the Dark Lord. And this is about the point where the game starts to come into its own. Until now, there have been... about the extent of the comedy in the game has been, you know, food puns, basically. And that's sort of Pit's running gag. When he talks, he likes to talk about food because, you know him, he loves his bonus treats. So, this is, like I said, where it starts to come into its own. Especially on the higher difficulties, it really starts to get a little bit more brutal on you during the air battles. The game starts to get a lot funnier. Indeed we are, Pit. Thank you for that. So, in Chapter 2, our mission is to defeat Dark Lord Gal. Jinx, Palutena. But the idea behind it is we're going to be approaching the castle from the sky, a very stormy sky, and we're going to be dodging quite a bit more shit being thrown at us because of the lightning in the sky coming down and all that stuff. But in addition, it introduces, you know, those flying enemies with the scythes on them that makes it really difficult to, without having a sufficient offense, be able to take, you know, go through without taking a lot of damage. Really, even on 9.0 intensity, I can and have, on a couple of occasions, gone through the air battle doing nothing but circles around the screen. Avoiding everything thrown at me, just doing circles. You can't really do that here because the enemies are a lot more aggressive in this chapter.
Plus, chicken is much more economical.
That's a fairly bad joke, Pit, but
Much better.
in the very same air battle, we're going to get a much more gem of a line. But I'll cross that when we get to it. These enemies, the scythe fuckers, I call them. They're the enemies that I tend to save my my power attacks for in air battle, because it's so hard to avoid them because they home in on you, and they take quite a beating on 9.0 intensity. Which, you know, it's just if you're a masochist.
Do I detect a note of smugness in your voice?
No.
Watch out, Pit. You piss her off and she'll take away your wings, and then you'll need to hit the Red Bull to get him back.
Eternally grateful for you.
But the one thing that I really like about this game is that the soundtrack sort of matches the mood
Let's make our way underground.
of a scene when,
Most cheerful place,
you know,
is it?
it's literally nothing but gameplay. There's very few cutscenes in this game, so
It makes sense they feel it.
instead of, you know, the mood matching the cutscenes, which of which there are none, it sort of matches the dialogue a little bit more.
Oh, I thought you might
Like the line in question that I referred to earlier that we're going to get to after this upcoming mini boss fight with a Belunka. It gets a little zany to match the comedy, and I really like that. Anyways, this is a Belunka. It's an enemy that's sort of like it basically just spawns other enemies. I'm trying to think of what I would equate it to, but I really can't.
Dark Lord Gal's castle is up ahead.
But there's a wall in the way.
But what about that wall?
Don't worry, I'll help you over.
For all of the crappy memes that have spawned from video games over the years, and there's some good ones, but do a barrel roll is not a very funny meme. I'm not sure how it ever took off. It's just stupid. G-force in my face, plus the delivery of it, on the other hand, is something that
The humans are taking a beating. They need our
is almost genius in its randomness. In fact, I like that line so much that during the next couple of air battles, I'm probably going to lift that line from the game. I really enjoy it. But this, this is where the air battle has wound down. There's really no reason that you should die on 9.0 intensity if you manage to get past the wall of doom. That's really the hardest part, because you're usually low on health, and you've got the scythe fuckers coming at you. What are those things called? I don't care. I have, like, almost every idol in this game, and I just don't care to actually check to see what, their name is. Bonus treats! Nom nom. But Dark Lord Gal, I probably didn't mention this, is a new general of Medusa's army. Twin Bellows, Q-Draw we're going to see next chapter, and you're going to see Pandora, Thanatos. They all return. It's just that Dark Lord Gal is a new enemy. We're going to get to the story of Gal in a little bit here. But this is our formal introduction, the chapter where we're formally introduced to the Ganymed. I don't count the suicide one from chapter 1. If you see one of these things, I demonstrate this here, just don't do any range. Just walk up to it, do a melee combo, it will do nothing but sit there like a bitch and take it. So, that's your prompt to actually do that. That's amazing! That's a track chest. Go around the statues unless you actually feel like fighting enemies. Get your mind out of the gutter pit. Too late. Sometimes I really wonder if this is a Nintendo game, because there's a lot of... I don't know if I want to use the word innuendo, but there's a couple of them throughout the game. Bonus treats! Trust me, you really love to see those things drop on higher intensities when you're struggling for health. The vases, obviously, can only be destroyed by melee attacks. So it's good to have a balanced weapon, because sometimes you can only damage an enemy with a range, sometimes only melee. This, as I demonstrate, is a Zodiac Chamber. There's only... Every couple of levels you'll find one of these. This is the Sagittarius Bow Zodiac Chamber, meaning that once you get the weapon here, you get the Sagittarius Bow. It's nothing special, but from then on you can start encountering the Sagittarius Bow in the random loot. You can start fusing for it, etc., etc. This is Magnus. Badass extraordinaire. Magnus is voiced by Fred Tasher, who is he's known for a lot of the really deep, gruff voices in anime and video games, particularly video games. But I guess a lot of you would most know him as the voice of the background voice of the Beasts characters in the Beauty and the Beast Corps. Every single one of them, all 4 of the Beasts, have his voice overlaid in the background of the Beauty. So he also did Laws in Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. At least I think that's the character's name. But he also comes with, besides being a greedy bastard, so we love him, he also comes with a pretty badass theme song that sounds tailor-made for Super Smash Brothers. Come on, Nintendo, make it happen. At least put the song in here. I'd prefer you to just put Magnus in too, but bonus treats, not that they're needed. But yeah, make it happen, Nintendo. I'd love to see Magnus in the next Smash Brothers game. That's the thing about Sakurai, though. A lot of his characters, a lot of his games don't really have a whole lot in terms of representation. It was only in Brawl that DDD and Meta Knight actually were introduced, and there are other Kirby characters. Obviously, Pit was another newcomer to Smash Brothers. Or, I'm sorry, Super Bash Sisters. As I might actually do that in an extra video. The how-to videos have a lot of funny content too.
My world is on the edge of collapse.
I take it back. This guy's a jerk.
Ooh,
Okay.
put some stank on it, Magnus. But with Magnus at your side, you're pretty much assured to kick ass. And the weapon that you see me using, I didn't even mention this. The weapon that you see me using is a samurai blade. It has speed +4 and melee combo +4. This means that I run ridiculously fast, and when you do standing melee combos, the damage that they do is ridiculous. Combine that with the fact that it has 5.5 stars in melee. So this is my online multiplayer weapon, and I have a pretty high win percentage.
That's clearly a trap. Think about it. Who would leave treasure just lying around outside?
There's a bit of extra dialogue there if you actually go and pick the chest up, but I'm not going to be an idiot and go for an obvious trap.
A hot spring.
Apparently someone likes his spa time.
Now that's what I'm talking
But as I had mentioned, the samurai blade that I use is something that I'm trying to turn into a pair of raptor claws that also have overall defense bonus on them.
I guess you wouldn't be
That
an
would
angel
pretty
if
much
you
make
didn't
my
do
day
things
in terms
like
of
that.
online play and turn a high win percentage into
We're done
like
talking about
completely undefeated. I really would love raptor
looks like
claws.
a long way up.
this. What? Your legs
For
not
right
working
now,
or
the
something?
samurai blade that I have with the stats that it has on it, it gets the job done for the most part. And a lot of people have already asked about, my multiplayer online friend code and things like that. I don't have access to regular Wi-Fi right now. That is going to change sometime, so I am going to post a video with my friend code when that is a little more relevant. But this is Dark Lord Gal. Very, very ridiculously low voice. Almost suspiciously low.
Know each other?
As if it were done to mask something. Spoiler alert for 2 minutes from now. Dark Lord Gal is actually female. And as Palutena is going to describe in just a little bit, this is all covered in my, non-commentary playthrough of it, so it shouldn't come as any surprise if you've watched that. Magnus and Gal used to be close friends, and as I have Palutena describe, by taking the battle easy, because if I did, 2 standing melee combos, my weapon is so strong that I would probably be just 2 melee combos to finish the battle off, so.
But it seems that Magnus and Gal
But Magnus used to have a child who was killed by underworld troops.
for fighting
Kinda
mercenaries.
grim.
But Gal's heart was weak and he couldn't resist the temptation of the underworld.
Indeed, thank you,
Seeing them
Palutena.
fighting, it's hard to believe they were ever friends.
Magnus only knows one way to fight, ferociously. Perhaps his fire is fueled by the child he lost to underworld troops.
I had no idea.
And it's assumed, not certain, but assumed that the mother of the child is, in fact, Gal. We don't know. One of the big faults about this game, one of the few faults about this game, is that the story is almost told completely exclusively through, the gameplay and the battles. Very few cutscenes in this game. So it's kind of hard to expand on it without getting a little overwrought in terms of the storytelling. I would love to see an anime, expanding the character of Magnus more or something like that, but
You can't feel bad. Just think of all the other people you've saved.
we're not exactly sure how much more Nintendo is going to put into this game. It was assumed that there was going to be DLC for it, but we don't
The
know.
war against Medusa is just starting.
But that's Chapter 2, Magnus and the Dark Lord. You leave him with his little honey. And that's it. Until next time, guys, have a good day.